Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Bros here with a very important video, and it is pertaining to Destiny 2's competitive playlist and the matchmaking that takes place in this playlist. Now, before I go into this, because this is a video of me talking about how bad I think it is and critiquing just the matchmaking, because I love the playlist, and I love Destiny 2 as a game, and I really want this video to be heard. I really want this video something to be done. So I want to let you guys know I'm trying to be professional, and I want Bungie to know that I really appreciate where the game is, and the changes that they made with Forsaken. The game is, I think, one of the best games out there, and I really do enjoy it, and I really do enjoy making content for it. Now that I've gotten that out the way, because I don't want people to think, at Bungie or other content creators or anyone here to think that I'm just, dogging Bungie and not giving them a fair go. I think the game is incredible, but that the matchmaking and comp needs a lot of work. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to all the gameplay that I put in the video, because all the gameplay is the times that I was really at the biggest disadvantage. This game here was about 3,000 points, and I've kind of tried to focus on the level 30 on my team. He was actually at about 50 glory, no lie, because we checked him after the game, and these guys, the whole other team was about 2,900 to 3,100, and I was at 3,100. But not all my teammates were, so naturally we were at a huge disadvantage, as you can see from the score. And that is extremely unfortunate to go in as a solo player at 3,100 points and to match him, as you see on the screen, at about 50 glory. And I have no idea how he found his way into this lobby. Now here you see we got 6-0, and that I'm literally queuing at 3,100 points. You can see it on the left side of the screen. But before I go into detail about what I think the matchmaking is and how it actually works, as far as how do I get a level 50 or glory ranked 50 player on a team in a 3,100 lobby, I want to talk about a few other things with matchmaking that I don't agree with, and that I pray that Bungie addresses and changes one day. And the first is the fact that you can load into games at a disadvantage, and I don't mean by glory points, but I mean literally load into games with less players. So as you can see from the video, I literally loaded into a 1v4 versus a 4-stack, a 4-man fire team. And this is not the one and only time this has happened. It's not like this happened one time in 3 months. This actually happened to me quite a few times. And I have seen it all, as far as 1v4, 2v4, 3v4. But it's really unfortunate because it's basically a guaranteed loss. Which is not something that you want to accept as a solo player. You're already giving it your all, and you're already not having communication, and you're already matching 4-stacks, which is something that I definitely want to address later. The 4-stacks, and I'll be doing a lot of comparisons to Overwatch in this video, because Overwatch, I think, is near the perfect matchmaking system for competitive. Clearly, it's not flawless. Nothing in this world is flawless. There are issues, but it is, I think, 10 times better than this matchmaking system. And I think if we had the Overwatch matchmaking system in this game, this competitive would be phenomenal. I think it would be a much better experience, and it would definitely be safe for the solo player to venture into, because right now I don't think it's safe to venture into comp as a solo player. You're basically just asking to lose and go crazy if you want a solo queue. Trust me, I know, because I've done it and I went crazy. But overall, to address the issue of loading into unfair matches or unbalanced matches, I think it should send you back to orbit where nobody loses points but the person that lagged out, or the person that quit in the first minute of the game. I think is a great thing that Overwatch does. It's the first minute. If somebody quits, everybody gets sent to orbit, and that one person loses double comp points than what they would have lost, and they get a 10-minute timeout slash ban, whatever you want to call it. And I think that is, I think that's genius. It promotes less quitting, and it also saves your points if somebody lags out or somebody quits early in the game. Um, because if you're there trying to fight the good fight, you don't deserve to lose your points because someone has bad internet, or because somebody wanted to quit because they died twice in a row in the first 30 seconds. So I think Bungie, please, if anyone from Bungie is listening to this that has anything to do with matchmaking, just consider saving people's points that are in the game, playing solo or even a duo queue or whatever, and someone from their team quits and that's out of their control, or someone from their team lags out and that's out of their control. Now, of course, if it happens mid game, there's nothing that should be done about that. That's just an L that you got to take. But at least let people start out with a fair shot at it. It should be 4v4 always, no exceptions. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is 4 stacks. Almost every team or every person playing comp is in a 4 stack above like 2100. Beneath 2100, there's a lot of solo players, there's a lot of duo players, there's a lot of trio queues. But once you hit a certain number, it's literally only 4 stacks. And I'm going to revert to Overwatch like I said I would do. When you're in a 6 stack or a 5 stack, they try their best to find you a 5 or 6 or 4 or 3 stack to play against. When I duo queue, I always play against the duo queue. When I trio queue, I always play against the trio queue. And one thing that Overwatch does is, if you're a 6 stack and there's no other 6 stack online around your rank, they'll put 6 players against you that are like 200 points or 150 points SR above you. And this is really cool because it doesn't hurt you if you want to run stacked, and it doesn't hurt you if you want to run as a solo player, because Overwatch's matchmaking system will always balance out the two teams to be equal in skill and glory and SR. Now there's things like Smurfs, which is the equivalent of a recov, where people make a second account, and they could be a top 100 player playing in Diamond, and there's nothing you can do to combat that, honestly. So I want you guys to look at the screen, and I want you guys to look at the top of the screen, and it'll show the rank of both teams. My team is 33-32, and the other team is 33-30. We are 2 points off as an overall team. That is as balanced as it's going to get. Another thing you guys probably didn't notice about the last clip, because this is a completely new Overwatch clip, I just put some matchmaking into the game, is that there was 2 stacks on both teams and 4 solo players on both teams. So not only were the teams only 2 points off on average, but there was a 2 stack on both sides and then 4 solo players on both sides. I mean, how much more balanced can a matchmaking system get? And you got to think that the game's going to be pretty competitive, and that it was. It was extremely sweaty, like most Overwatch games are. Now here is 34-51 to 34-50, and it's the same thing, a 2 stack on both sides and 4 solo players. If this matchmaking could be in Destiny 2's competitive playlist, I'm telling you guys, man, competitive would be amazing. And it would, the solo player wouldn't be scared to go in there, and a lot more people would probably run solo because they would know it's safe and that they would get an even match on both sides. And a change in matchmaking like this wouldn't only benefit a solo player, it would benefit all players. Duo stacks, trio stacks, and it would probably promote less needing to run stacked, because honestly, if you're not running stacked past a certain point, you have no chance of climbing in this environment. Because one of the biggest issues as well is that I always matched 4 stacks. I feel like if you're solo queuing, you should never play against a 4 stack. Having an average score would also prevent that, because they would be able to pull players from all over the ranking. Whether they be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, you could pull any players from anywhere as long as the two teams had an even score. Now, on the screen, I want to veer off a little bit. I just died to a Not Forgotten. I'm going to actually stop commentating and let you guys hear what I have to say about this game, because this is one of those games that would never happen and should never happen if the matchmaking was based on the average team score.
Wow. I mean, like, seriously, just wow. Well, that was a good streak, man. It really was. But I mean, and this is like if it's your first time watching, or if you ain't been in here every time. Usually, what happens is I do go on a streak every now and then, and the reason the streak always ends is because of this exact same thing. Bro, he has a white shotgun. Why is he playing against Not Forgotten? Like, in no world is that a population problem or like an excuse. Look at them, bro. Look at them, dog. I mean, just Jesus, man.
Enemy charge will be set.
Let's just look at him one more time. Check him out one more time. This is my teammate. This is his shoddy. This is his heavy weapon. And this is his primary. And he locked it in. He locked it in because of how good it is. That's locked, so he doesn't delete it. You know what I mean? He's running a fat 0 recovery, 1 resilience, 5 mobility. Nice gear. They feasting. I mean, how can you not, bro? That's turkey on Thanksgiving right there. Level 20 in comp. You got a Not Forgotten? Like, in what world is this fair, man?
So as you can hear in the video, I'm noticeably upset, and rightfully so. I showed you guys the guy killing me with Not Forgotten, and then I showed you my teammate and his loadout. That is something that should literally never happen. You solo grind your way to 4,000, and we're talking about me. This is a 4,000 point game for me. Like, I'm sitting at 4,000 glory, and I get teamed up with a guy who has blue gear on with a white shotgun. In no way is this acceptable. And I'm not mad at the guy in the video who's with the white shotgun at all, because it's not his fault. Imagine being him. Put yourself in his shoes. This was literally his first comp game ever, and he played against guys with the 5500 weapon. If I was to play a game and go into competitive for the first time and they put me against the top ranked players or players who had been the top ranked before, I probably would never play that game again. I honestly don't know if the guy in this video knew what was going on or knows what Not Forgotten is, because he seemed like he just started playing Destiny itself. So he probably, was like, oh, these guys are just better than me because I'm brand new to the game. But no new player should have to go through this. I'm taking the spotlight off me and how frustrating it is for me. I can't imagine being a new player and playing against guys like this. That's my first comp experience. He should be playing against guys of his skill level, of his experience. If he has 0 points, which is exactly what he had, he should be playing against people from like 0 to 100 to 200 points. I'm sure they could have found him a lobby. But like I say, the matchmaking in this game has to be addressed. These guys got a free win, and as you can see here, my glory score 4,000, got a free win, and I've been on a team of so many free wins, playing against so many different 4 stacks or just super sweaty players, and then they throw guys on my team with trusts and auto rifles, and it's just ridiculous, man. And there's many ways to fix this. Now you see here, the teammate that I got had 1 elimination with a point 11 who had 50 glory. I haven't brought him up in the video, but this guy here was 50 glory, and the guy above him who had the white shotgun was 0 glory. And as you saw, we were playing against Not Forgottens, which is it. And I can't even speak right now. In no world is that fair to these guys and to the teammates that they got, me and the other guy on our team, who seem to be somewhat sweaty. There's many ways to fix this. They could bracket it off where only legends play legends, mythic play mythic, or they could do they could do the Halo ranking system where you got a number 1 to 50, and if you're 48, you're playing against 48, you're playing with 48s, or if you're 25, you're playing with 25s against 25s. Or they could do, the Overwatch system, which is what I think is the best because if there's a population problem, like people claim there is, like there's not that many people playing comp, which I know is false, it would widen the player pool that they could draw from for each match, meaning they can go anywhere from 0 points to 5,500 points, get 8 people, and balance it out completely. And then that way you can also force the 4 stacks to play each other because you'll be able to bring all the solo players into one lobby and then balance the teams out accordingly to make them even. That's much better than making a bunch of solo players of totally random ranks play against 4 stacks using not forgottens. In no world is that fair. You're basically just letting one team climb, 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 and the other team just fall, 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 fall. And it's a huge hole to crawl out of. And I don't know if you guys have gotten to Mythic, if 3,500 plus, but once you get to that point, and I'm not going to talk much about this because this is about matchmaking. This is more so about the point system, but I just want to address it because matchmaking makes it even worse. You lose more points than you win. So every time you lose, you got to win 2 games to counter that. So when I get in a game like this and get a level 12 with a white shotgun against Not Forgottens, I lose 30 plus points and I have to win 2 games just to get those points back and go a little bit over breaking even, which is another incentive to not run solo. And you shouldn't want to scare the solo player away. You should want to, people to embrace comp solo because that way more people will play. We'll have trials when it comes back, so we will have that game mode where you need to have a team. But right now, comp, if you honestly, and with this matchmaking, if you're going in without a team, you're going in at a huge disadvantage. There's a 90% chance in my mind, if you're solo queuing above like 2,500, that you will lose. You will match a 4 stack and you will lose because the 4 stack will be crazy and your teammates is a total roll of the dice. No way should you launch into comp, solo or not, and it be a roll of the dice whether you're going to have teammates that can help you win or not. It should definitely be way more balanced than that. And this is me begging Bungie just to give a quick rundown if they ever see this or if any other big content creators see this. I did solo comp every game of this entire season, and I maxed out at 4,400, which was a miracle. I had some great games, but I also had some really bad, rough games like the ones in this video because of some matchmaking issues. But at the end of the day, what I would love to see is a complete change in the way that matchmaking works. I would love to see a system where it implements saving people's points when someone lags out in the beginning and also never letting a game start with teams at a disadvantage, meaning less members than the other team. There should always be 4v4 or 8 people in a lobby. And I would love to see solo players never match 4 stacks or make it as rare as possible. Increase the queue times to find more solo players. And that will come with changing the overall way matchmaking works. So I don't know if anything is going to change or not. I'm not like a big content creator. My voice never really got out there with the issues that I've had with the community and stuff. And this is my most constructive video ever, and it was really painful for me to set a goal for myself and to not even come close. Well, 4,400 is close, but to not be able to come closer because it was out of my hands. It was nothing about my talent or anything like that. It was completely the fact that I was literally queuing into games against Not Forgotten. Like this game here, you'll see they killed me with Not Forgotten. I had a guy with 11 glory on my team running a Prometheus lens playing against Not Forgottens. And earlier I had a guy with 0 glory, 50 glory, and these are all games against Not Forgottens. Now, I only put the most extreme cases in this video, but I can say confidently every game I was at a disadvantage. It wasn't always Not Forgotten versus a glory 50 or 0 glory guy, but it was always a 4 stack against me and some randoms of players who just were not 4,000. If I queued at 4,000, I would always get people 4,000. So the only consistent thing with matchmaking for me was I got opponents that were my rank. So if I was 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, I match people of that rank. But my teammates, like I say, complete roll of the dice. Sometimes they were 100 glory, sometimes they were 2,000 glory themselves. Sometimes I got one guy who was my glory and two guys who were just absolutely lost. It's totally random. And there's ways to fix that. I really feel like the solo player should be protected. And the last thing that I want to say, last change that I would like to make, and I probably should have threw this in earlier, but the searching and the eval. I don't know if you guys know, but a lot of 4 stacks dodge other 4 stacks. So if it jumps to from 4 out of 8, 8 out of 8, they back out really quick because they want to find solo players to beat up on, or 2 stacks or 3 stacks to beat up on, because they know their chances of winning increases by a large margin. So I don't know if Bungie could do something like how Overwatch does, where you search, you don't see anything, you just pop up into a game. That would be amazing for the competitive playlist. I don't think they should do that for quick play and stuff, but maybe for, for comp, that'd be a great idea. Anyway, guys, man, I don't have the biggest pool. I've always tried to get into this community and be accepted by this community and meet some Bungie devs and be invited to the summits and stuff. That's never happened. Probably never will happen. Um, but the reason I bring that up is because I don't know how far this video will make it without your help. Or send this to your favorite content creators, the big ones, and at Bungie employees. Get it on Reddit. Get this somewhere. Matchmaking needs to change, guys, and I'm trying to be very constructive about it, but I definitely played more solo comp than anybody. I'm sure about that, and I can strongly say, man, it is a brutal, brutal, brutal experience that is not for the many. It's only for the few. Um, I'm the few, and it still was too much for me at times. But I just want to thank you guys for watching if you made it this far. And if, if matchmaking's been rough for you on comp and because a lot of people that watch my channel have solo players and they said I motivated them and stuff. I want you guys to know, man, I didn't quit on Solo Sensation or anything like that because I wasn't good enough. You guys see how crazy matchmaking can be. And that's why I said it's impossible to get Not Forgotten solo. I strongly believe that up until they actually do something to fix this. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I love you all. Hopefully, Bungie sees this. Hopefully, somebody sees this and something's done. Really appreciate you guys, man. I can't say it enough. And I hope this video goes viral. I'll catch you guys next time.
About him or anything, but like, why? It's That's matchmaking, bro. What is what's going on, bro? What's going on with that? As from a matchmaking standpoint, how the hell do I have this many comp points, and I'm playing with a dude with a Prometheus lens, bro? He blue kisses the whole match. I mean, one elimination, Wow.